And all those talks about stoves, and you have not mentioned once about cooking over an open fire. Now come on, that's the quintessential outdoor experience, right? Cooking over an open fire. Why not talk about it? I will let you know on the Nomadic table, and also I'm going to give you a sneak look at what's coming up for next year on this channel. Stay tuned. Okay, so we have talked about stoves. We had set a three-part series on outdoor cooking stoves for nomads that would suit the nomadic life. And I hope I gave you a lot of good information in those videos, but you're probably wondering, how come I haven't talked about cooking over a fire? Um, hobo pockets, foil packet dinners, where you put different meats and vegetables and things in a foil packet and you cook them over the fire, and all kinds of things. Why haven't I talked about that? And you know, I have this an old copy of the Boy Scout Handbook. This was printed in, I think, 1986, and so it was pre-internet days and before, you know, smartphones and text and all that came out, when Boy Scouting was real simple. Well, maybe it wasn't simple. Maybe it was hard chopping down a tree all the time you wanted to make a fire. It has a lot of information on the old Boy Scout handbooks about, you know, the bushcraft skills and making the different fires and cooking for a group camp. And, you know, when you have a bunch of boys out for a scouting activity, you're at a camp out or a jamboree and you're cooking, you know, big breakfast, lunch, and dinner and foil packets, and then sitting around the campfire and having s'mores and things and giggling your head off, whatever boys do. It brings back so many good memories of camping, of how maybe, you know, older of us in the audience, how we remembered camping the way it used to be. But here is the caveat about that kind of cooking, is in the West, things are very tinder dry in the forest. All over the country, really, everything is just tinder dry. I'm here in South Central Texas, where you think, well, with all the rain and stuff and tornadoes they get, and, you know, why is it so dry? Well, it's dry. This ground is dry. When I came here, you could see cracks in the earth. They were so dry. The rivers are not moving. They're stagnant. They were stagnant because it's so dry. Everywhere is dry, and whether you believe in climate change or not, that's not really a discussion for this video, but things are changing, not for the good. And out west, you have many burn bans. You're not allowed to have open fires. When you're backpacking, you can't have an open fire. A lot of campgrounds, if there's a burn ban going on, you cannot have an open fire. The only kind of cooking instrument that you can use are a stove with an on and off valve. And in the series we did on stoves, all three of those stove systems, the propane, the integrated canister system, and the liquid fuel stoves, they all had a valve they can turn on and off to control the flame and have the flame go out instantly when you needed to, and not be worrying about having a smoldering campfire at night and did you throw enough water on it, are there embers still burning? Because the embers, if they're burning in a campfire, they can they can any kind of spark, any heat building up, it can turn into fire real quick. And that's what Forest Service managers don't want. So in many of the national forests, when there's a high fire restriction in place, the only kind of fire you can have is with a stove with an on and off valve. And if you are out west in those areas in the national forests, you can go to the website of the forest that you're in, Mount Baker, Snoqualmie National Forest, Coconino National Forest. Go to that site and see what kind of fire restrictions are and see what the burn ban level is for that forest. But given that, having said that, it's really sad. It's really a shame. It's kind of like the campfire is just going out of style, being in jeopardy of just vanishing. And the campfire brought back so many memories when we were all camping. It brought back warmth, it was community, it was family time, it was time for the kids to have fun with their franks and their s'mores and stuff. It was just really nice time. And it's really sad that all that is kind of in jeopardy with the climate changing and the weather changing, and it's just being so dry in many forests in the West. But that is the reality that we all have to deal with. Okay, so, and let me give you a preview then. Hate to end this on a sad note. Let me give you a preview of what we're going to be doing on this channel. We're entering into the holiday period, and so we're just going to do some basic techniques, throw some recipes in there, some techniques, any kind of tips I can give you. We'll just have that kind of content available throughout December. And in early February, I am going on a major road trip. I am going all the way out west, and our first stop, okay, you ready for this? Drum roll. Going to Big Bend National Park. Yes, we're going to go to Big Bend National Park, and I am going to take you with me. I said we, didn't I? Yeah, you come with me via these videos. Okay, that's going to be really excited. I'm really juiced about that. Then after Big Bend, we're going to go on to swing by Quartzsite, Arizona, which is Nomad Central. All the nomads spend the winter, a lot of them in Arizona. And then we're going to travel up north, go on back up to the Pacific Northwest. So that's some things that are happening on the channel. And that's the sad thing about the bird bands and why I haven't talked about outdoor cooking. And you know what? I can't let you go without throwing in some Eddie Murphy jokes. Remember the video on Delirious, Eddie Murphy Delirious video, when he's talking about the cookout. He says, "Gus, why do you burn down my backyard, Evie? You're Gus. This is a little campfire. This is a little cookout, and you're making that. We're cooking beans and franks here. We're not cooking no brontosaurus burgers, Gus. That child over there has third-degree burns from your big bonfire over here, Gus. Why do you do that?" Oh, it's funny. Okay, Eddie Murphy, Delirious. Go check that out. Okay, this is a Nomadic table, and happy cooking down the road.